Yes, I thought I'd get to this eventually. It's been requested here and there, and for a good reason. What's up everyone, I'm Newin. Welcome to another edition of Newin Anime Review. And this one, the most hyped anime of 2013, Shingeki no Kyojin, also known as Attack on Titan.
100 years prior before the main story, Titans, giant humanoid things appeared out of nowhere and started feasting on humanity for no reason at all, nearly wiping them to extinction. The remaining humans live inside a huge gigantic walls separating them from the Titans. Cut to present day, humans are living in peace away from the Titans to the point where some have never seen a Titan before and therefore have never experienced the fear of Titans. That is until a giant colossal Titan suddenly appears and breaks down the wall, and all the other Titans come in and have a buffet. Eren Yeager, one of the inhabitants inside the wall, witnesses his mother being eaten by a Titan. He decides to make a pledge, and that pledge is to get revenge on the Titans. So he and his friends, Mikasa Akame and Armin Arlet, join the military so they can fight Titans. The story seems simple at first, but later on gets interesting. Not going to spoil because it's a pretty big spoiler, and it makes you believe it's something big, but shows you something completely different.
One colossal problem with Attack on Titan's story is its pacing. It has a tendency to, well, drag because there are long arcs. For instance, they take a while to move a rock, or to find someone, or better yet, they take 5 episodes before they actually properly start fighting Titans. There's a lot of characters on Attack on Titan, and because there's a lot of characters, a lot of them don't have plot armor, and because of that reason, I'm going to talk about 3 main characters, plus a bonus character.
Let's start with the main protagonist, Eren Yeager. Eren is driven by the desire to kill Titans, and thus making him the most dangerous human around, because his moves are so bloodthirsty. Because of this, you find it really hard to like him because he really only has one motivation, and his character develops very slowly over time as he learns it's not just about killing Titans. He grows as he interacts with his friends and his teammates, learning to become a leader, although that does take a while. Next on the list is Mikasa Akame, the natural born badass of the series. Mikasa is shown and described to be equal to 100 soldiers. She does not hesitate when it comes to the protection of Eren, as she was given the mission to protect him for life, by any means. Because of her character is depicted as a quiet, monotone, unstoppable soldier, her character is not really that interesting outside of that. She's got an interesting past, but I found that the past doesn't really matter too much in a world like Attack on Titan. She's pretty much there to be a badass character of the series, but then someone else comes along later as well. And lastly, out of the main characters, we have Armin Arlet. Unlike the other 2 I just mentioned, Armin is a coward and not physically combat ready. He serves as the weakest of the 2, but however he is the brains, as he formulates the plans for his friends and how to get around the Titans. At first I hated Armin because he was just a whiny character and didn't take any action. But however, he learns over time that he isn't a burden. However, that path takes a while, and the longer it takes, the more I start hating him. Another character I started hating but loving over time was Jean Christine. Jean is a complete coward, and he admits it as well. He only joins the military in order to gain the prosperity of always being inside the inner walls and thus saving himself and shielding himself from the Titan. He literally speaks his mind, doesn't give a damn about what he said, even if he has no honor in it. But you see him develop greatly over time, and you can actually love his character.
When there's a lot of characters in a show like Attack on Titan, and a lot of deaths as well, you're going to expect a lot of throwaway characters. Honestly, there are a lot of deaths in Attack on Titan that I literally felt from little to nothing at all, because they weren't as interesting or likable. However, they do have an array of likable characters that you don't want to die as well. It's just the ones that were killed that weren't given as much screen time before their untimely death.
For the art style, it uses, I would say, a somewhat simple yet effective art style. For the characters, they are surrounded by a thick black stroke to really highlight them as individuals. Because of this art style, it really shows the terror in the character's eyes and the moment they face a Titan. It's almost scary to a point. The designs on the Titans are probably some of the most disturbing, horrific faces I've ever seen, and if they were intentionally doing that, they made faces of terror at night. The part where the anime really shines is during the sequences when the characters use the 3D maneuver gear. You see them zipping across the sea like Spider-Man, making it really free flow. These action sequences are the best part of the animation. It flows so well with the art style and fits well with the anime theme, as they're fighting for freedom. And these 3DM gear lets them do that. Seriously, that thing is dope.
For the soundtrack, I say it really goes well with the theme and scenes of the show. It really feels like a military orchestrated feel. There are times in the soundtrack where there is hope and a sense of achievement to go with the soundtrack. Cut to everything and everything's to destruction and agonizing and pain. The music does really well transitioning from one scene to the other. Plus the opening song is amazing. It gets you really pumped up with this first line. However, it does get replaced by an opening halfway through that's just not as good, but grows over time. When a show is overhyped like Attack on Titan, you go into thinking it's the greatest anime of all time. It's not the greatest anime of all time, but however, it is worth the hype. The story gets interesting as the series progresses, and it starts off simple, so it's very enjoyable and easy to follow on. It's really fun watching the 3DM gear in action and watching your characters develop and hoping that they don't die in the end. There are a lot of things to like Attack on Titan, such as all the characters are in their teens, but however, they are really mature. And I enjoy the mature themes in this anime. However, if you're looking for something silly, this is probably not it for you. But the Titans movement do get pretty silly and kill the mood later on sometimes. As for the story on Attack on Titan, I give it an 8, as I believe the story starts off simple but it gets interesting later on. However, that does take a while, and I believe there's some parts of the story where it does drag. For the animation sound, I give them a 9, as I believe the art style may not appeal to some people. However, it is a well animated series. Any action sequence involving the 3DM gear does not drop in quality at all. The art style also fits really well with the mood. The soundtrack is also great at complementing the style as well, as plus the opening theme is epic. For characters, I give it 8. If the writers were able to make me hate characters so much, but then make me love them in the end, they've done something right. Even if some do take a while to develop, they do become interesting. As for the ones that did really die, I couldn't care too much about them, as I don't think they was interesting as the one I did. For my own personal enjoyment, I give it a 9, as I really love action anime, and this is definitely worth the hype. The story was interesting to the point where I spoiled myself and read the manga. There's also so much epic high-scaling sequences that really gets your heart racing. After rounding all that up, I give Attack on Titan an 8.5 out of 10. I recommend you go watch this anime, especially if you like action anime, and especially if you like full-on war action. However, I also do recommend you watch this anime if you are just starting to get into anime, as I believe the story starts off very simple and easy for anyone to grasp. Well, that's it for this edition of You and Anime Review. Like always, if you want to read the written review, the link is down below in the description straight to my anime list. And as always, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. If you can't be bothered, go watch another video. And with that all said and done, I hope they create the 3D maneuver gear one day, because I cannot wait for that to happen. And also, I cannot wait for the second season to happen as well. Sayonara!